Good morning, y'all. Tyson here, Warfield. Hope you're having a great day so far. Remember to be thankful for your life today because you did not have to have that on with the meat potatoes. About 2 months ago, I went out to San Diego for the Sony a6700 launch. Sony did pay for me to come out there. They also paid me to lead what was called a creator walk, right? And basically, people had to sign up beforehand. They saw Terry Warfield. He'll be giving out tips and tricks on video creation, content creation, and strangely, a whole lot of people signed up, which I was not expecting. I also wasn't expecting for this to be filmed, but one of the guys who had signed up to be a part did film it, and I'm so thankful for him because he didn't have to. So I'm gonna put his name right here on the screen. Thank you, bro, for filming this. Now, he was filming this for himself, so I wasn't mic'd up until about halfway through it. Then he did give me his Rode Wireless Go, but you'll see that some of the parts of the video might be a little hard to hear when it comes to me or people asking questions, or when Brandon or Philip were answering questions. Sometimes it's hard to hear them also, but I wanted to put this video out because I feel like there's a lot of nuggets in this video for new content creators, intermediate and advanced content creators that could really help some of y'all out. So like I said, I know technically this video ain't perfect, but if you really lock in and listen to it, I feel like everybody can learn something from this video. So I hope it's helpful in some type of way. Let's go. Like, we all here to learn from each other. There's a lot of experience here. Brandon is here. I've been making a lot of videos. Phil is back there. So all of us have been making videos for years. So please take this opportunity to speak up if you got questions, if you got comments. Everybody can learn from everybody when it comes to like how to get, more comfortable on camera, how to make better videos and all that stuff. So I'll start. We just talk about it up there. Like, one of the biggest challenges for me when it comes to creating any type of content online was honestly confidence. And I think a lot of people struggle with being confident on camera. And I think my #1 tip, to be honest, that has helped me break through it is to, and I know this is about to sound mad cliche, but to stop caring so much. And I'm gonna break this down a little bit. So I told Phil this earlier. First of all, like, we live in a world where everybody is making social media content. So don't feel like if you out here doing this in public with a camera and people are looking at you that you're doing something awkward. Everybody does it. Like, literally everybody does it. So that's the first thing, is everybody creating content, and that's just the age we live in, especially if you want to do this and be an online content creator. It's just something you got to adopt and you got to get over it. And I know that sounds super basic and practical, but that's one of the first things for me, is to stop caring so much. Because every time that, I got in my own head and said, man, these people looking at me or they staring at me, #1 is usually out of curiosity. They want to know what you're doing. You got a camera, or you somebody, like, where can I follow you at? And you get some people who like, another D-bag with a camera, but, it's really just a matter of, I'm probably never gonna see this person again. That's the first thing. Is that most people that are looking at you, you ain't never gonna see them again, so why care so much? My next thing is, like, be you. And I know, again, that sounds cliche, but I think as content creators and YouTubers and everything, we get in this habit where we feel like, I gotta look like somebody else, I gotta sound like Casey Neistat or Peter McKinnon and all these other people. And I cannot stress this enough. YouTube is not TV. Instagram is not TV. So the goal is not to sit there and try to be like everybody else. The goal is to be you. Everybody brings something to the table. It's only one of you. It's only one person that can be you. So I always felt like, why not lean into that uniqueness? And it's gonna be people that like it, it's gonna be people that don't like it, but I don't worry about the people who don't like me and what I do. I just try to focus on the people that resonate with me, that like what I do. So that's the next big thing, is to be you. I want to move on to like some technical, and if anybody got any feedback or want to throw something in there, go ahead.
I was just curious, what's your focus content?
What's my focus of content?
Yeah, what if you say you have a YouTube video, you do vlogs, like, what is the content?
So my YouTube videos are mainly about gear, like tutorials, gear reviews. I do like some motivational stuff here and there on my channel, just because I like empowering people, even if it's one person. And sometimes they don't get the views. And that's another thing. Sometimes you put a whole lot of work and a whole lot of effort into these videos, and you upload it, and you're like, damn, don't nobody care. Nobody, like, but I don't really do it for that when I'm making them style videos, because the goal is to, how can I help one person? You know what I'm saying? So it's those, it's tutorials, gear reviews. And then when it comes to vlogs, I like to mix vlogs into my videos, because I think when you talk about cameras and stuff, like sometimes it's impersonal. You know, people don't really get a chance to connect with you. So a lot of times I make videos, it's like day in the life videos. You know what I'm saying? Where people get to come in, they get to kick it with me, they get to kick it with my family. And even though those videos might not get a ton of views, it's always good for the people who watch you because they feel like they know a part of you that they otherwise don't get to see.
I think another overwhelming thing is to pick a niche, right? Like people say you have to have a niche. What do you recommend for someone who's starting out that has like multiple interests? You know, maybe it's fitness, maybe it's photography, maybe it's travel, right? Like what would you say to someone who's starting out on that, from that perspective? Like where should they kind of start?
I think it depends a lot on what you want out of it. If growth is your priority and eventually you want to turn YouTube into maybe a career or an income source, then I think it's smartest to niche down because the growth comes when you niche down. If you're just doing it because it's something you want to do and you don't really care if it's going to grow, you don't plan on making money or anything like that, then it really don't matter what you do. But if you want to take it serious, unfortunately, the name of the game, the way the algorithm works, and other guys can chime in, you kind of got to focus in one general area. Oh, thanks. Is that going to follow?
One thing that I struggle with a lot, especially when we talk about blogging and having a camera on ourselves, is this little situation and feeling like I'm talking to a camera but still having to be aware of my surroundings. Do you have any like tips to stay engaged with the camera and be on purpose, but still?
So my number 6 over here is be aware of your surroundings. Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy. You using my phone, bro. I already know. All right. So depending on where you live, like I live in Cleveland, and it's mad sketchy in a lot of parts of Cleveland.
So let's hear.
It's mad sketchy, right? So without, there's certain things I ain't gonna talk about on the Sony walk, But to be real, I try to, if I'm going out somewhere, use the buddy system. So take somebody with you because if somebody's going, do something, they're a whole lot less likely to do it if it's 2 of y'all or 3 of y'all. The other thing is when I do takes, I try to do short takes. So I get out there, boom, 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 and just, put it back down. And that leads me to something else, man. You don't have to be perfect in your videos. And I know a lot of us, me and you were talking about that on the way down here.
Quantity versus quality.
Yeah, like the whole quality versus quantity. That's a big thing. Because I think as content creators, a lot of time we get in a situation, we think we got to put out something that's absolutely perfect. Everything got to be a bake. I'm not saying don't put quality and time into y'all work, but if you are like me, like I'm a perfectionist, I will sit there and re-edit and re-edit and re-edit and watch it back like, oh man, I forgot to, and I'll never get anything out. So you got to find a way to strike a balance between how do I get something that's polished enough that I'm proud about, versus like never putting a video out because I'm striving for perfection. And the other thing is the problem with perfection is stuff that we're looking for. But when you upload a video online, all of the little aperture, I didn't shoot this at the right shutter speed, but be real, people don't care about that stuff. I try to always think about the person on the opposite side of the camera, not me. Forget the people looking at me. How are the people watching this gonna feel? So I try to make it as engaging as possible when I'm talking to the camera so that they feel like they're actually, connected with somebody.
So I make real estate videos, basically telling people how to invest, and like the content can be really dense. So like, how do you make that entertaining?
So the first question is, why do you think it needs to be entertaining?
I feel like there has to be something other than just like gaining a little bit of knowledge about real estate, like something that piques the interest a little bit more. So I feel like a personality.
I disagree.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why. You want to speak on it?
Because, when I'm searching for information, the entertainment takes up some of that info time. And I consider my time more valuable than the entertainment value that I would get from most videos that have information, no matter how dry the information is. Like the other day, we got a water softener for the shower, and I looked up a video on how to install this water softener into the shower head. And the last thing I wanted was somebody to start off with like, hey, what's up guys? All right, before I get to today's content, something really funny happened today and we're having a baby. And we just, I don't care. Show me where to screw the thing in and show me in hopefully less than 30 seconds and I'll watch the whole video.
Yeah, I think the big thing is you gotta understand who your core audience is.
Yep.
And if it's search-based, typically if someone's searching for something, they just want what they came to search for, you know, like
He probably
like you
meant
said,
making it
like,
more
if
pleasant.
I want to learn how to change a tire, I don't want to learn the backstory and how you learned it from your dad. I just show me how to change the tire. You know?
So I want to piggyback on that real quick. So two things. You got to realize, like, and I'm gonna just shoot it straight. For every person that likes a personality like me, like a loudmouth that's on camera and in your face, there's somebody that doesn't like somebody like me. You know, and there's for people that don't like. What I'm saying is there's an audience for everybody. So just because there's somebody else in the real estate space that's entertaining, doesn't mean you need to be entertaining, because there's people that do like the calm, I just want the information. A valuable tip though is to cut out as much fluff as you can. So when you make videos, and y'all gonna learn this, you don't need to sit there and introduce yourself. Oh, I'm this and that, and I've been doing, man, people don't care. They want the information. So get right to it and find a creative way to introduce yourself throughout the video. I used to do that intro thing at the beginning of the video, and you will see on YouTube where literally as you're talking in the first 30 seconds or introducing yourself and showing off your house in the toilet, and nobody ever sees it. So I think on YouTube, and this is actually one of my points too, it ain't TV, man. TV, you're used to the payoff. There's a build up, there's a payoff at the end of it. We live in a whole different time. People want the information right now. So whether it's a vlog, a lot of times with vlog, if you have any like memorable moments during the vlog that were funny or like that were exciting, sometimes throwing that at the beginning as a teaser and then doing the build up for the payoff at the end is a good strategy. But other than that, man, get right to the meat potatoes of y'all videos, that whether it's Instagram, the success of short form depends a lot on how long somebody stays and how many times they rewatch it. So it always needs to be a hook and get to it as quickly as you can.
How do you go around just like scripts, following script, freestyle?
So this is where everybody is different. And I'm gonna just speak for me. I can't script. I suck at it. I've tried it. I've tried to read off the whole teleprompter thing. And for me, it just don't work. I'm better off the top of the dome. And I think I'm that way because I'm willing to accept that sometimes I make mistakes. And going off the top of the dome, sometimes I might misquote something or something like that. But I'm very transparent about that. And I'm not saying that approach works for everybody. There is nothing wrong with scripting, but I just don't do it because it doesn't work for me. And I get everybody may not necessarily have the same type of quote unquote gift of gab. You know what I'm saying? If scripting helps you out, then do it. The other thing, if I'm doing a gear review, like the 6700 review that I put up today, like it was so much information to talk about, I had to make bullet points. So that's something I will do, is I'll get out the notes section on my phone and I'll just make key points that I make sure that I don't miss. And then when I'm out and about making my videos, boom, I know I need to talk about this, or boom, I know I need to talk about that.
Well, that's the script side. What about what to even make a video on? Like, obviously that's a new.
So I think it depends on what you like, what type of videos you want to make. A good strategy is, if you don't know how, look on YouTube or Instagram and other examples of stuff that you might want to, that you can model after. YouTube, Instagram, social media is all a bit copycat. All of I ain't gonna say all of them. A lot of my ideas, I'd be like, oh damn, that's a good idea. But I'm gonna remake it and make it my own. So everything on the internet has already been done, just recreate it in your way. But it also depends a lot on what niche you're in. If you're doing camera gear, I know I can always pick up a camera and make a video about something. Whether it's a tutorial, whether it's me just showing off photos, but that's the niche I'm in. So you have to look at the niche you're trying to get into and kind of see what's out there.
Do you do notes and things for other types of videos other than gears where you have to be specific?
No, because, and this is gonna sound crazy, a lot of times when I'm about to make a video, this is what I do in my house. What's up, y'all? This Terry, blah, blah, blah. I literally walk around my house practicing the video before I go out there. So that way when I get on camera, I'm already, ready to talk about it. And my kids, my wife, everybody has, he about to make a video again, but it works. I mean, for me, it works. I can't say for everybody else, but I always, if I got a video idea, I talk it through first before I go try to execute it. And for me, it works a lot better that way. All right, let's talk gear real quick. A lot of people, like, if you don't have, I'm sure everybody out here has a camera, but the best camera is the one you got. You don't need the latest and greatest, and I know I'm part of that problem because Terry always reviewing the latest and greatest expensive stuff. But you don't. Oh, that's sweet. Huh? Yeah, don't blame me. But you don't need the latest or greatest, man. Use what you have. You can't wait on new gear to inspire you to create content if this is what you want to do. New gear is dope. Once you understand the basics and the concepts, new gear will help you elevate, but don't be scared to use what you have now. Again, we care about all the snobby stuff. We care about the shutter speeds and the white balance. 99% of people watching it are looking for it for the content. It don't matter how pretty the content is. If it's trash content, it's trash content. So what I'm saying is don't let your gear hold you back, right? The second tip I wanted to give y'all, audio means more than video, all right? So I'm gonna give you an example. People will watch a terrible video if the video quality is trash, as long as they can hear it. But if the video is great and they can't hear it, think about what you would do. If you can't hear the video, what you do? You move right along to the next video. So audio, like, these are good mics. If you got a Sony camera, these ECM mics are real good. I swear by these. Or get you like a wireless mic system, like the Rhodes are real good. But these make it simple. You don't have to worry about chords, you don't have to worry about audio levels. You just put it on there and they sound fantastic.
That's a good question about your audio, because I still, after years of YouTube, I still struggle with just how to put a mic under a t-shirt.
Oh.
What do you think?
So, I think
What's this? What, you're wearing one? Okay, but what's going on over there?
Okay.
With the FBI.
It's a public.
You can just describe.
yeah, just
Okay,
it's
yeah, it's
shot.
a visualized system. I have a tape and a loop, so if there's any tugging, it'll catch it. And I plug it into a wireless Go just to put in here.
Is it also fixed to your shirt or just to your skin?
Just the skin.
Okay.
But yeah, this has great audio quality, and yeah, you can move around.
Okay.
Yeah.
You must shave a lot, then, huh?
Yeah, it does work.
I sweat so much because when I try that, I'm sweating so much that after 2 minutes it's gone.
Dude, I sweat, especially when I press record, I start sweating like crazy. Like, I've been filming and literally the mic slid off of me during the shot.
I get stage fright alone, which is, yeah, it's so sad.
And don't get it twisted. I've been making videos for years and I still get nervous when I press that record button. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just human nature, but you just gotta power through it at the end of the day. But to answer the question, me personally, I don't mind just slapping the DJI mic on my shirt.
Okay.
Right? Or using one of these.
Yeah.
But I think if it's a professional application and I gotta lav up and all that stuff, the only time I ever do, I use tape. And
What tape do you use?
you want my honest answer?
Yeah.
Regular tape.
Like Scotch?
Regular tape. Any tape I could get a hold of.
Don't you hear like
There's like
crinkling?
film tape.
They do have film tape.
For skin.
They have skin tape, and they also have these little black things that you can put the cord into, and they're designed to stick to your chest.
Is that the thing you have?
Just regular medical tape.
Okay.
It has to be good for skin though.
It's got to be skin
Yeah,
tape.
you just have to use it.
Honestly, when I watch a YouTube video, if I see like one of those DJI mics on their shirt, I just know the audio is going to be good. So I'm relieved when I see
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you have to hide it.
And
there's an immersion factor. Of course, if you're watching a movie or TV show, having lives visible is not okay. But they usually have something.
if you need more
But
help.
for YouTube videos, they know it's a YouTube video. You're looking at the camera. Third wall is broken. Yeah, you can have a mic on.
Exactly.
I've never had anybody be like, oh my God, there's a mic on the outside of your shirt. So I think, as you said, like, as content creation evolves, like, people expect it. You see people all the time hand holding now, like the mics in their fingertips like this.
It seems more authentic.
It does. And at first I was like, man, this is kind of cringe. This dude got a whole DJI mic right in his face, but why do I care? I can hear it. You know what I'm saying? Another tip I got for vlogs that I use this all the time. Overshoot. I know that's gonna sound crazy, but overshoot. And what I mean by overshoot is, for example, if I'm walking down the street, right? Me just having one static shot of me walking is freaking boring, right? So take a little bit of extra effort and maybe take a shot with the camera near the ground as you walk past it, and a shot from behind, and maybe a shot hand holding your feet walking and stuff like that. So it's a small tip that you can use to make your vlogs and your footage more immersive versus just a dude walking down the street. And I try to use that for everything. Like example, if I'm at the house and I'm in the kitchen talking, I might And y'all see Casey used to do this all the time. Put the camera in a freaking refrigerator so you can see me opening the door. But those little things, they make vlogs a lot more interesting when it comes to watching them. The last tip I have when it comes to creating vlogs is, I know vlogs are all about story. Like everybody says, you gotta have a story, you gotta have a purpose, but sometimes not having a story is the freaking story. So a lot of times I will let the day just develop how it develops, and you know, everybody lives, whether you think your life is mundane or not, there's always little interesting things that you could pick out of it and put at the beginning of it and create a hook. So sometimes not having a story, just living life is what people want to see from you. They just want to see that you're a person. They just want to see that you're relatable and all that stuff. So that's all the tips that I have when it comes to creating vlogs and content creation. Stop caring so much. You asked, how do you start? You just got to start, man. That's it. If you keep saying, I'm gonna start, you're never gonna start. So just start. The first videos are probably gonna suck. They probably won't get any views. Your first probably 20 videos are probably gonna suck. They probably won't get any views. But I look at videos like I'm just building up an archive. I'm building up almost kind of like a book of business. I'm building up a library of stuff where people finally get there. They could go back and watch everything, you know what I'm saying? If you care too much, you'll never create anything. Stop procrastinating. Get rid of the expectations on yourself. If you want to start creating, just start. Like everything else, you'll learn as you go. You'll get better as you go. But you got to start somewhere. You said gimbals?
Yeah, handheld or gimbal.
I'm a handheld dude. I got gimbals. Yeah, this is the gimbal guy right here. But I don't like, oh, this is about to sound terrible. I don't like using gimbals because these cameras are they like, there's reasons, there's times you need to do it, right? If you're on a paid job and they need smooth footage, yes, you need a gimbal. If you're creating a feature film and there's certain shots that need to be smooth versus energetic, yes, there's times you need a gimbal, but these new cameras are getting so good with the stabilization. I know this sounds like an A6700 plug, and I promise you I didn't do that on purpose, but I just trust like the stabilization on the newer cameras. And me personally, when it comes to vlogs, that little handshake for me makes watching people's vlogs for me more authentic. So I don't mind a little bit of camera shake.
Well, I'm intrigued by the fact that you said you're full-time vlogger now. Content creator, like what does it take to what does it take to get to that point?
Oh man, that's a loaded question right there. I was in the marketplace, worked in the mortgage business for like 12 years. So it was banking and mortgage. And I always wanted to, like I would be sitting at my desk at work, and I remember the first time Samsung had invited me to San Francisco, I was at my desk like, I don't want to work no more. I would rather do this. But realistically, it wasn't that time yet. But I kept telling myself, one day I'm gonna leave work, one day I'm gonna leave my job, one day I'm gonna take it serious. But every time I said it, I never did it. Until I got laid off in the mortgage industry, right? Then I picked up a couple odd jobs in between that, ended up editing for a few other channels, and those contracts ended. So at that moment, I was like, well, I could either try to start editing again, which I had started to absolutely hate, which is a whole subject in itself, or I can go try to see what I'm made of. So a part of it, and I'm not recommending that you quit your job and go try to be a content creator. Please don't get it twisted. You got to be in position to do it. But I felt like at the time I was in a decent enough position, making enough money from YouTube here, brand deal here, affiliate sales here, where even if things kept up as they were, I was able to at least cover bare minimums, right? So I was like, the hell with it. I'm gonna see what I got. And I was back in January, and we're in July now, and God willing, I've been able to maintain, and it's been overabundance, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I wouldn't say stop what you're doing, but you know, it's possible. I'll be honest with y'all, it's a lot of money as a content creator, but it takes work, just like everything else. You can't quit and be a content creator tomorrow and then think in 2 weeks you're gonna be making $50,000 a month. It don't work like that, right? But if you put the time in, the effort in, it took, again, 4 years for me to get to this point, and I'm just starting. I know guys that are full-time YouTube that make loads of money, but they've also put in a decade of work, you know what I'm saying? So I would just say, is it a possibility? Yes, but you gotta be smart with it. And it's a scary place because being an entrepreneur, period, you are responsible where your next paycheck comes from. So you gotta also have a drive to get up every morning and say, I'm gonna do this and not be lazy and all that stuff. Relationships mean everything. When it comes to people, like other content creators and brands and stuff like that. So you gotta do your best to shake hands and build like actual genuine relationships with people. And I wouldn't just say relationships for business sake, but like me and Kish are actually, we're not super close friends, but we can call and talk about anything. Like I know what his interest is. He loves F1. I love F1. He loves fighter jets. I love fighter jets, you know what I'm saying? But also I could call him when I need to talk about money or a problem or anything like that. And we just have a great working relationship. So relationships mean more than numbers. I've been in a lot of places when I only had like 10,000 subscribers, 15,000 subscribers that by technicality, I wasn't quote unquote qualified to be in. But it was because of the people I knew and I built great relationships that when it came time to, hey, you guys need anybody for this job that we're coming up with or this event? Oh yeah, Terry was cool, I liked him. Let me recommend him. And I've gotten in so many places just based off of handshakes and recommendations. So be good to people and build strong relationships. And a cliche, but you know, it's the stuff you gotta do. It's what you gotta do.
Yes. Is there a strategy when it comes to like building a relationship with like the corporate entities as a content creator versus like?
You gotta find whoever's in charge of marketing. Now that also doesn't mean that, hey, I got no body of work. I ain't did nothing, but I'm gonna reach out to Sony like, hey Sony, I want a free camera. It don't work like that, right? As a business, you gotta think it needs to be a return of investment for them. So my recommendation when people like, oh, cause a dude hit me up the other day, like, how do I get in the door with Sony? I mean, I can't just say, hey Sony, here's a dude that wants a camera, hook him up. It don't work like that. Build a audience, build a book of business. This is why I talk about making videos. Like they need to be able to come to you and see that, hey, this dude is worth me sending this 5,000, as an example, this $5,000 camera kit to, right? It's got to be a return of investment for them. So my biggest tip to build relationships, once you get to that point, yeah, you need to find out who marketing is. But I'm also say this, when you put yourself in position, they'll find you. You don't have to worry about looking for them because they'll find you, build a body of work, and they'll come looking for you.
That's a great point. I was going to say earlier, we talked with a couple of you guys about, first question, when's the next firmware update for A7 or somebody was bugging, what's the next camera coming? So these are really, we're interested in the feedback from you guys to see what you guys want to see in the camera. So with that, I mean, great job. But if you have any question, Amanda is an expert on these cameras. As I mentioned earlier, I do the cinema cameras and chat with us. Let us know what you're interested to see in the camera. Decide like, yeah, give me a free camera and let me go sponsor me, whatever, right? So we're really interested in those kind of conversation because these are the days that we want to see. I've been in the industry for a long time, but a lot of these things, you guys are what we have to cater to what you want. It's not the old days that we used to make a camera. I'm an engineer for years now. Build a camera and go use it. Now we have to see what you guys want to see in the camera and plan our future cameras.
I will say this event was pretty awesome. It's my first event, and just the fact to show up and have models with lighting and everything. Where you want to practice portrait photography, but you can't go hire a model and set up the lighting and everything. So we appreciate, or I appreciate, what you guys did put together. And I'm going to be coming to these events in a long time.
So I hope this, was inspiring for you. If you got any tips or questions or anything like that, we can freestyle now. Losing my voice now. Yo.